Hi, Poppy Yeager here with This Day in History. March 26, 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk announced on national radio that he had found a vaccine for polio. Polio was a deadly disease. It affected predominantly children, and if it didn't kill them, it often caused paralysis. The first epidemic of polio in the United States was in 1894 in Vermont. Then in the early 20th century, it broke out at various times. There were epidemics of polio affecting, again, mostly children, although there were adults that did contract polio. The most well-known is probably FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is why he was in a wheelchair. Polio had caused him to lose the ability to walk. In 1952, an epidemic broke out in the United States. 58,000 people were affected. 3,000 died. Dr. Jonas Salk, he was born in New York City. He went to New York University. During World War II, he worked to help develop various flu vaccines. So he then got involved with trying to find a vaccine for polio, and he succeeded. He announced in 1953 that he had found a vaccine. The initial vaccine, before he even announced it, he had tested it first on people that had already had polio. He tested it on himself as well as family members. And then March 26, 1953, he made the announcement that he had the vaccine, and clinical trials started shortly thereafter. This is a reminder that vaccines are important. Vaccines save lives. In 1952, an epidemic broke out. 3,000 died. Today, it's eradicated. There are no epidemics of polio because of the vaccine. I am hoping, even though we have somebody incompetent in charge of health and sciences in the government, even though we have somebody who doesn't support the idea of vaccines, I'm hoping that he doesn't negatively influence the entire population to the point where we go back. We already now are concerned with measles, which hadn't been a problem for decades. Anyway, that's This Day in History, March 26, 1953. Dr. Jonas Salk announced that he had a polio vaccine, and after that, parents had to worry less because they could keep their kids safe.